All right. What's going on, boys? Some volatility to end the week there, huh? What's up, Vladdy, Nilish, or Nils, Carson, Mo, Gurvinder's in here, Optimus Prime in here, BV7, Josh, Joe, Mo again, Gervais, Ginger. Okay, a lot of people in here. One day of market dumping and a lot of people joining the post market. I like to see it. So, SPY was basically in this range all the last 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So all week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we had this low and this high. Today we broke through the lows with authority and continued dumping into the end of the day. Tomorrow is 9/11. Obviously, we had a very big disaster happen on 9/11, I think a bunch of years ago, 11 years ago maybe. And I guess people are expecting volatility. Or so it seems, right? So, like we've been telling you all week, SPX roll week, why were we saying that? I mean, if we say something and you don't understand it, you can always Google it. Everything is on Google. So I'm going to show you guys right here. This is equity index roll dates, okay? CME Group Equity Index, they can roll their futures. Meaning, say I bought SPX 4,000 calls expiring this month, and I'm big time in the green, I would sell those and I would buy further out, either the same strike or a farther out strike. So that's what the big boys do. They buy huge positions in futures, and when they're coming up on expiration, they roll them out further. So these are the dates for the roll this week, this year. In March, the SPX roll was 312. So March 12th to March 20th was the SPX roll. Let's take a look at the longer term time frames here, guys. When we say something, it's not just to say it. It's we know from experience, so we're just telling you guys, okay? So we're going back to March here. March 12th to March 20th was the dates on there. This is all public information as well. So March 12th is when it started. March 20th is when it ended. Right around here. So look at this chop right here. Everything we gained from March 12th, we lost it going into March 20th, okay? And more. So we rolled down. What's the next date on the roll? June 11th to June 19th, okay? June 11th to June 19th. Let's take a look at that one. June 11th is right here. So we went sideways for 3 days and then complete dump. SPX roll again. Go back here. That was June, September 10th to September 18th. September 10th is today, and this time they kind of front ran it. So you've seen the last few times we had the SPX roll week, they kind of went sideways or a little bit higher for the first few days and then dumped it at the end of the roll week. This time it looks like they front ran it like 4 days early and they completely dumped it going into next week. But the SPX roll is not over yet. It's until September 18th, okay? So they have another 8 days before this expires. The next roll is December 10th, so we don't have to worry about it for 3 more months. But pay attention to that. Go to this site, cmegroup.ca, type in equity index roll dates and read and do some research for yourself. I mean, it's your hard-earned money you're putting to work. Make sure you know what's going on in the markets. Other than that, SPY. I know very bad today. A lot of bears came out, blah, 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 whatever. Every dip has been bought since March, right? Or since May. Every single dip has been bought. We've been drawing this channel ever since May. You guys have seen it. Everything, it always works. Almost every time we hit the bottom of the channel, we bounce. So right now, what I'm seeing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight down in the SPY. The last time that happened was in February, and the last time that it's been longer than 5 days was last year in 2020. So I am expecting a little gap up after this weekend, just because we're getting a little oversold on a lot of names, and there's been a lot of volatility. VIX, as you know, has been just cruising. Look how overbought it got here. All the warnings were there. I mean, if you guys continue to go heavy in positions, I wasn't even playing my big account this week. I just played my small account. My big account, I barely touched it, other than that VIX that I sold was the only thing. I was up like 20 bucks in that account, which is absolutely nothing. So SPY, what we're looking for here is Monday. Do we get another red day or do we get a green day? Odds favor the bulls. But if we do get a big gap up open, look for another sell-off to the bottom of this channel. And right now, the bottom of the channel is looking around 441, a little bit above 441. The 50-day moving average is at 441.43. So watch this for support. You might as well just put a line there right now. 441.43. Right there, okay? So we're going to be watching this area for support, as it will be an inflection point. It'll be the bottom of the channel and it'll be the 50-day moving average together. So we're going to be watching that for a potential support. If we break through this market is toast for a long time, okay? Daily consolidation underway. Why do I say that? Look at this. We had an uptrend. I've taught you guys this 100 times. Lower or higher low, lower high, higher low, low, higher, fucking A, sorry. It's been a long day. Higher low, higher high, higher low again, higher high, higher low, higher high. But now we're forming a lower low under here. So we're forming a lower low. So if this follows through, we could be in for daily consolidation. After daily consolidation, we are going to be looking at weekly consolidation as possible. So after daily changes the trend in favor of the bears, then we start looking at the weekly chart. The weekly chart, obviously very, very extended, just grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. On the weekly, we actually closed at 445.44. The 8-day is at 443.98. So watch 444 for a huge level. If we close next week under 444, we could be in for weekly consolidation. It could be a month or two of consolidation before the markets go up again. And the next level under that 8-day moving average is all the way down at 430. Imagine how ugly this chart will be on the daily if we go down to 430 down here. So if we could potentially be in for weekly consolidation, and that would be around 430. That would break all the dailies. The trend would change, and then we'd have to wait for the trend to change back in the bull's favor to get back bullish. QQQ. So tech started off the day a little bit stronger than the other indexes. Obviously, end of the day, we broke that important support I give you every single day here on post market. I gave you that support of 378.45, I believe. Yeah, 378.45 was the daily higher low. We broke that. So daily consolidation underway on QQQ as well. Now we have to zoom out and look at weekly. This could be a weekly bull flag forming. It could break down and start weekly consolidation. Same thing as SPY. We could be in for months of consolidation. So every time the trend changes on the daily, you scroll out to the weekly. Every time the trend changes on the hourly, you scroll out to the 4-hour. You scroll out to the daily and just keep scrolling out farther and farther and farther, okay? Let's take a look, for example, just in case you don't get it. We'll go to the daily back here. You see this big dump off here? So what happened here on the daily was we got a higher low, higher high, and then we broke that higher low. So that signaled daily consolidation. What did we do? We absolutely ripped it. So what happens in that case? That means it was just a weekly bull flag here. So you just have to keep scrolling out, look for hourly consolidation, then daily consolidation, then weekly consolidation, then monthly consolidation. And if we reverse, that means it was just a longer term bull flag. That's it. So weekly, big run up, weekly bull flag, and breakout. So keep scrolling out. Keep an eye on the bigger picture here. I know the 5-minute candles scare the shit out of you, but keep an eye on the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Everything matters here because we are extended on a lot of time frames. Look at this monthly right here. You want to see a monthly chart? I'll show you a monthly chart. Now, what is that? If you guys seen that on a chart, would you buy that? And this is tech. Okay, from 2008, it's been straight up in a line. 2008, we are at $26. The QQQ was $26 in 2008, and we ran straight to $382 today. So just keep an eye on that. Longer term time frames are very, very extended. Fed is selling stocks. This could be the dip that keeps on dipping, but remember, put season is very fun. On calls, you have to slowly staircase up. On puts, they just collapse. It's fantastic. I'm hoping for a bear season soon. We're going to make a lot of money, don't worry. XLF, I gave you the warning signs. We had the ascending wedge. We broke underneath it. We had that support of 37.55 from Tuesday. And today we hit 37.57 and bounced. So 37.55 is still important on financials. Financials looks a lot better than QQQ and SPY. Why? Because it held its previous higher daily low. So financials look like the most bullish sector out of the three so far. Let's look at IWM real quick. IWM, I have the weekly chart open. This is a topping pattern in my opinion. Unless we break out to all-time highs quickly, this IWM could be done for a long time. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. Trading is going to be really rough for a while, especially if we keep pulling back. ES, just a complete dump show into the close. Nothing to see there. VIX, absolutely ripping. I went over this chart the last 3 days in a row to tell you guys what is possible. If you remember, I was saying the trend for almost a year straight or 6 months straight was lower highs, lower lows, okay? And now we set this lower low, we set a lower high, and now we formed a higher low. So now, to change the trend in the VIX, we have to set a higher high, which is above 27.74, which is a line I have marked here. If next week gets brutal, 27.74 will be gone on VIX, and we will be in for a very choppy trading environment for a while. Tesla, absolute garbage. Big breakout on the daily. We had the weekly chart looked great, daily chart looked great, everything looked fantastic, and we just broke down. This is the magic of the markets. The charts can look as good as they want. Once that volatility comes, it breaks almost every chart. Look at this. Who would want to be long Tesla today? Nobody. So just play lighter in these times. I mean, there's times in the market where you can go back to your normal position sizing, but even for me right now, I'm going super small. ZIM, I wanted to show you the strength. We closed green on ZIM. In a day like this, we closed green on ZIM. Obviously, we didn't get a high of the day, but the candle doesn't look too bad. Maybe it could be considered a doji here for a reversal. It is far away from the moving average, but look at this strength, man. To close green on a day like this, I bet you won't find many stocks that did that. CCJ, commodities and mining companies are ripping. X, which is United States Steel, had a lot of flow today. CCJ, beautiful bull flag, beautiful breakout, huge volume, huge flow. A little bit overbought, but congratulations if you were in this one. Anywhere from 15, it went all the way to 25. So $10 in like 3 weeks on a commodity type name is fantastic. Congratulations, CCJ. We will be looking for an entry if we get a big dip. This is a great company. TAL looked so promising 2 days ago, had huge flow. Look at this rip. And as always, China disappoints us. China disappoints us. Straight down, we broke the lows of the day we bought the calls. And we will see next week. Biden had a meeting with President Xi of China. So let's see how that plays out over the weekend. Maybe they had something positive to say, but it is China after all. So don't have high hopes. Let's see what happens. Holy, okay, I want to leave all of them. Now let's move on to some of the trades we did today and some other charts. TAL we already did. Amazon was looking so perfect on the weekly, on the monthly, on the daily. Everything was looking fantastic until today. So we needed a 3,500 close this week according to Ricky. We did not get that. Obviously, if you look at the weekly, even on the run last time that I was comparing it to with these green candles, you see the big rejection. Oh, we'll go with the monthly here first. I know I repeat a lot of what I say, but I mean, if you guys listen to VIX and stuff, you would have been ready for today. Here's the Amazon candle. So long base, big breakout, big profit taking upper wick. Next month, hammer candle. Next month, 27% month. Right now, what do we have on Amazon? Big base, breakout to all-time highs, big profit taking. Next month, hammer candle. Do we get 27% this month? It's still possible. I mean, we're only red 0.05%. Even if you look at the weekly, the last run up on that 27% move right here, we did have red weeks, but we never had a candle like this, which is what is worrying me right now. Get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. So weekly candle looks ugly. That looks prime for reversal. FANG looked ugly in general today, especially with the Google antitrust and Apple losing their lawsuit against EA Sports. All the FANGs reversed hard today. let's see what happens next week. I'm still in a few of those Amazon 3600 calls for September 24th. Let's see, next week I will decide if I want to keep them or not. But for right now, we do have 2 weeks on them, and they're still around 13 bucks-ish. They close around 13 bucks even with this ugly week. So let's see what happens next week on Amazon. mRNA, looks like I sell the news off of that Biden stuff yesterday. Like I said, it's Joe Biden. He doesn't know how to pump anything. We had a big gap up this morning, gave back all the gains, but mRNA held its low of the day, which is very rare. Lots of these stocks that I'm showing you guys did not hold their low of the day. Moderna did have a triple bottom almost at the low of the day, and it held into the close, so look for a gap up on this one. There is a lot of supply and a lot of orders here in this area, so it's going to be slow mover through there. It's not going to move as fast, I think, unless we gap up and go on Monday. Apple, ugly, took out the low of the day. No, it held the low of the day, but look at this dump right here. For Apple to dump 2.35% in 5 minutes is a big deal. Apple is a $2 trillion company. That 2% dump probably cost them so many billions of dollars, okay? So Apple stock chart broken. Beautiful breakout. Everything was looking fine. Looked like a bull flag. All of a sudden, bad news. Look at the bear volume. Increasing volume. Big dump. Negative 3.3% day on Apple. I don't even remember the last time I seen that in my entire trading career. Maybe right here. Negative 4% on March the 8th. And before that, negative 3.26% on September 10th. So I'm just saying these are very rare, but when they happen, it's usually a precursor for a bigger move down, okay? Microsoft, Ricky entered the puts. He sold them at the close for 30%. 30% in this market is a big deal, like he said. It's hard to trade. Right now, it's a scalper's paradise. If you're in and out for 20%, that's a successful trade. You don't want to look for home runs in this market. You want to look for base hits. And Microsoft just did exactly what he said. It spiked up, he got filled, sold them for 30%. That's it. Other than that, Microsoft daily chart extended a little bit. Looks like it closed below the moving averages. Next moving average down is 289.68, so keep an eye for that. That could act as support. Other than that, I mean, all these charts are just extended weekly, just straight up in a line since March COVID lows. Apple weekly, straight up in a line since COVID lows. And yeah, this was COVID lows. At COVID lows, we hit 53.15 on Apple, $53.15. Today we closed at 150, so a triple. A $1 trillion company tripled in a year. I don't know if they increased revenues by that much or whatever, but a little bit getting a little frothy in the markets here. Roku, cup and handle forming, but the handle was longer than expected. Shakeout was back here at 340. I really needed to close above 340. That's why I cut my calls for next week. Everything was looking weak. We took out this low as well. We closed today at 328.30, which is the lowest price on Roku since June. So Roku not looking too good. Rest of the market looking pretty bearish. Next week we might have our bears suit on. Depends how we open Monday. Everything depends on Monday now, and any bad news that happens this weekend will make me more of a bear. Palantir held up pretty well. I think we closed green a little bit. They had some news that UK is cutting their contract with them for health this morning. Didn't affect them at all. They ripped right off the open. But then obviously this was the bad news apparently. Ripped, completely ripped. Look at the volume in here. We did dip back down, but it held better than most stocks. Still closed green. ATER, the short squeeze candidate of the day. Called it out back here around $10. I seen that they had 68% short interest. So we bought equity and October 15 calls. Equity was up 50%. October calls went up like 130% or something today. I scaled out of a lot. Sold half my equity. Sold 2/3 of my call position, and I'm just holding a tiny position now in equity and calls. Aftermarket looks like it's going up even more, and we're looking for this one. If it really starts squeezing, could be a big one. Look at the volume that's coming in here. Every short that's shorted before, every short that's shorted after July 13th is underwater right now. So all these shorts right here, they're all losing money. So let's see how long they hold before they get squeezed out, or if margin calls start coming, they're going to be forced to squeeze out. And this one could run all the way to 21 bucks. That's the next resistance, is $21. So big opportunity here. I held a little bit. ATVI ripped off that EA Sports win. EA Sports beat Apple in court today, actually. It was some app issue, like Apple wanted to control commissions or something like that, but EA Sports won the case, and right off that, ATVI absolutely ripped, held its gains, closed green. We have leaps for January, $95 calls. Let's see if we can start reversing the trend here. Again, it's in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And now, is this the lower low? Do we reverse? For this to change trend, we need to get back over 83.38. So any close above 83.38 will put a higher high, and then we have to protect this low. I never want to see ATVI under 77 again. Okay, 77.13 is the low. Next time we set a daily low, it needs to be over 77.13. And other than that, I hope you guys are cautious. I hope you traded light. September is a month of volatility. Next week, expect a lot more of the same with VIX expiration and quad witching and the FOMC talks. So there's 3 major events. And thank you guys for attending. I'll see you next week.